Hi everyone, this is Curt James with Welcome Home RGV. I'm here today at Quinta Mazatlan in McAllen, Texas with Colleen Hooks, the Executive Director. How are you doing today, Colleen?
I'm great. It's great to be outdoors.
It is great to be outdoors in such a beautiful venue. So, first of all, I mentioned that you're the Executive Director, but can you tell us a little bit about your role here at Quinta Mazatlan?
Well, I've had the honor of being part of the World Birding Center project, which is a regional effort to get urban sanctuary in everybody's backyard. And then we call ourselves a mansion with a mission. There's actually an historic adobe home in the center of an urban sanctuary. It was owned by two families prior to the city of McAllen purchasing it. And it was actually built by a winter Texan who would flock through with the birds and fell in love with the region and loved this forest, so built an adobe home in the middle of a forest. And back in the 1930s, that wasn't that unusual to have a home in the middle of the forest. The family lived here for 30 years, the Matthews family, and then a second family came in, the Schultz family. A little more unusual in the 1960s to have a forest surrounding your home, but they're also credited for protecting the thorn forest and expanding it. And then the third owners, 30 years later, the city of McAllen purchased Quinta Mazatlan as a rural birding center. And at that time, when we opened in 2006, it was very rare to have a forest in an urban setting. You might hear the planes going over. We are literally across the street from the McAllen International Airport, minutes from Mexico and the Plaza Mall. And so if you were to take an aerial photograph, you'd see this green island, right in an urban setting, thanks to these families who have cherished our natural heritage. And so the mansion with the mission working to restore one backyard at a time, we like to think of it as a pearl necklace. Like I'm a neighbor and I'm gonna plant Turk's cap to attract hummingbirds, and then you do the same and you do the same and you do the same, and then all of a sudden you've created this beautiful pearl necklace. You've created this corridor. And so that's our mission, that's our passion, and we offer a lot of programs on how to design a butterfly garden or how to attract birds, and just it's having a home and a habitat.
Okay.
A lot of people come here and say, God, I'd love to. I see a red-bordered pixie right here. That's the McAllen butterfly.
Okay.
And you have to plant the guamachil, which is the host plant for that butterfly. So knowing those little things on what to plant, and plant it and they will come. I guarantee you, in a week, you're going to see, if you have a guamachil, you're going to see the red-bordered pixie. If you plant the Turk's cap, you're going to see, the hummingbirds. And so it's just a great hobby, and we want people to love the great outdoors.
Okay. So would you say that your mission is to encourage people to do the same?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly, because we are a home. Two families lived here for 60 years before the city of McAllen purchased it. And so a lot of times you may go to a very large forest, 5,000 acres or whatever, and it's hard to see your home in that setting.
Sure.
But since there is a home here, you can see the gardens around the house, and you can go, oh, I can do that in my front yard, or I can do that under my window. So it's just a great demonstration site on what you can do in your home. And we have a lot of interpretive signage around. All the plants are named to help me, to help my staff, to help everybody that visits. We have over 1,000 native species of plants. And the region has over 500 species of birds that have been documented here. And it's all because of location, location, location. We have gorgeous weather year-round. We wear shirts and t-shirts all year long.
I feel underdressed compared to you today.
So it's a great region to visit and enjoy the great outdoors.
So you mentioned the the birds. So as you probably know, winter Texans really enjoy their bird watching.
Yes.
Are there any specific birds that would be considered, oh, we got to see that one kind of bird?
Yeah, so there's a lot of birds, maybe close to 30 or 40, that fly no farther north than the valley.
Okay.
So you would have to travel deep into Mexico to see them, or come to the valley. And one of the most spectacular is the elusive green jay.
Okay.
It's spectacular. This blue head, this green body, and then underneath it has these yellow feathers. And that one you have to come to the valley to see.
Okay.
I'm thinking colors of the rainbow, orange, the Altamira oriole. Oh my gosh, gorgeous. And it builds this stocking-like nest. And it builds it on the very tip of a tall, thin branch, like a tepehuaje. So
Okay.
it blows in the wind. So no predators can go out onto that branch, into that nest. I just love bird nests. I mean, just the architecture around them is amazing. The chachalaca, usually the chachalacas greet all our guests at the front gates
Right.
to Quinta Mazatlan.
They kind of gather in hordes, right?
They gather in hordes. I lived in a neighborhood that had a street crossing sign that said, you know, Chachalaca Crossing. They cross the street, the whole family. They cross the trails. They're very comfortable with people. We have outdoor stewardship classes, again, how to design a butterfly garden in your backyard, or how to attract birds to your backyard, or you just want 3 native plants and to start this new hobby. So we enjoy doing that. We have outdoor teaching spaces. I think that's what makes Quinta Mazatlan unique, is it is an outdoor museum. We do have the historic home where the families live.
Right.
And we do have history tours as well. And folks love learning about the families
Right.
that lived here. And the whole home, the Matthews family that built this in the 1930s, he was green before his time. We built a discovery center for teaching, and it's a LEED certified building, leader in energy and environmental design. And one of the qualifications is your materials have to come from a 60-mile radius. So Jason Matthews, who built this adobe home, everything came from a 60-mile radius before this certificate came about, you know? He got the mud right down the street, you know, one of the highest knolls in McAllen, where there's an airport now, and made 10,000 adobe blocks. The tiles were hand-painted in Mexico, and so it's treasure, because everything in this house was local and custom made. And really that's, they say building green is something far in the future. Building green is going back to the way our great-grandparents lived.
Right.
Things weren't flown in, you know, it was all local.
Well, you mentioned earlier the history and the mission of Quinta Mazatlan.
Yeah.
Now, is that an extension of what the Matthews and the Schultz family tried to build here, or is that more of a McAllen thing?
I think it's very much an extension. I think they were the inspiration. And in every part of our expansion, building the Discovery Center for the children to learn about their natural heritage, in all our meetings, we would have posters up saying, now what would Jason Matthews do?
Okay.
You know, it was just because he kept the forest. He could have subdivided and cleared
Sure.
and mowed and blowed, and the second families too, they kept the forest. And they loved the forest.
Right.
So it was the whole inspiration from the home and the habitat came from the two families who kept this home and this habitat for so long. You know, and then the city of McAllen really has continued on with that. But wanting to work outside our gates, wanting to see the home and the habitat throughout the region. And that's the impetus for our stewardship classes and our tours. Again, focusing on the outdoors. And that's where you have the true appreciation of the beauty of this. And we're hoping that people will either go, I love photography, maybe they'll get into outdoor photography. Maybe I'll get into gardening. Maybe I'll just do yoga outside, or maybe I just love my morning walk. We're growing at such a fast pace, and how do we keep that balance of making sure we have these natural areas for all to enjoy? And this time it's so important. It's so healthy. There's been enough research that shows health is connected to nature. We're smarter, we're healthier. Emotionally, it makes us stronger to get outside. You know, that they've done studies in hospitals where they've studied patients who had a window overlooking a brick building and a window overlooking a natural setting. And those that had windows overlooking natural settings recovered faster, left the hospital sooner. I mean, it was significant. And so that's what we offer. Our trails have seating everywhere. We have an outdoor amphitheater. It's a stone amphitheater with a larger water feature and bird feeding. So we just heard the kiskadee in the background, which is a spectacular yellow bird that has a Batman mask on his head.
Okay.
They're just colorful, fun, tropical birds that you won't see anywhere else. So we have about 2 miles of trails, and they're shaded trails. So even when it does warm up, although this time of year it's gorgeous, and you know we average 70 to 80 degrees, I think, year round in the valley.
Well, you're so knowledgeable, and I've been here several times, and I've kind of toured the facility on my own without the benefit of getting knowledge. Do you do guided tours?
We do. We do guided tours. We'll do native plant walks. We do morning bird walks. We have a fabulous naturalist, John Brush, whose father is an ornithologist, and so he's been birding since this high. We have an amazing bronze sculpture tour outside, and it features our native creatures of the Rio Grande Valley. Those are all personally sponsored by companies and individuals. So there's that public and private balance to support Quinta Mazatlan. And when you walk the trails, that's one of the things you're going to enjoy are these bronze sculptures. The Matthews family would be very happy with what the Schultz family did. And I think both families, we hope, are very happy with what the city of McAllen has done. We worked hard to protect the home as it was, and then we worked hard to expand the forest. We purchased 8 acres in 1998, and then we opened in 2006 to the public, and we are now at 25 acres. So we've tripled almost the amount of land, and we continue to expand the forest and the educational opportunities. Children come here and they go, oh, there's a bird. And then they leave going, oh, there's a plain chachalaca. That, you know, because when you put a name to something, all of a sudden it means something.
Sure.
You know.
Well, thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure.
We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
I feel like I've learned a lot just spending a little time with you, and I'm really looking forward to
Enjoy the
learning a little
trail.
bit more. Yeah. Thank you so much,
All
Colleen.
right. Great having you here.
Thank you.